The most important thing for me is to understand the most important is the player. It's not you, it's not your ego, and the most important thing is that the player can train or can play. I think it's very important the role of physiotherapists in every single sport. Physiotherapist is very important in terms of the recovery after the game. When you have some injury, you can reduce your injury. This is very important for the club in economic terms, but also it's very important for the player in terms of performance, publicity, of course, psychological. You need to put the focus on the player. You need to put the focus on the person, create the best model or create the best protocols or create the best whatever you want for them. My name is José Calvarro and I'm a physiotherapist here in Como. I'm from Spain. I'm from León. It's a city in the north of Spain. It's a very, very beautiful city. I started 7 years ago in London. Sometimes it's not easy because you are always working in your mother language. But yeah, after 7 years, a normal environment for me. I received a call from a friend, he's Cés Fábregas. He proposed something very interesting. He explained me everything about what Como wants to do, what is the project of Como, and where Como wants to be in a few years' time. I took the decision, and for me this is like a new project. It's a big challenge, very good opportunity to grow. I met him in Chelsea. I have a master in my life. He's Raúl Martínez, physiotherapist of the national team, football national team in Spain. He developed a very specific technique, specifically for football or for sport. I remember 7 years ago, the head medical of Chelsea asked Cés Fábregas. They needed a new physiotherapist. Who do you want that could do this role here in Chelsea? Through Raúl Martínez, I arrived there. And I met him there. We stayed together during 3 years and a half, and after he went to Monaco, but we still had a very good relation. This kind of therapy is the specific therapy for him. It's what he needs to be on the pitch and to hope so don't be injured. This technique understands the body like a whole system, all the forces and all the strength that you made during the sport. When you walk, when you run, when you jump, you need to absorb all these forces. What happens when your body is in a bit disbalanced or injured, or when your connective tissue or your muscles, you start to create areas or some specific areas and start to collapse some part of your body. So this is important to reorganize all this connective tissue, reorganize all this mechanotransduction, how the force go through your body. And this is something that Raúl Martínez developed many years ago, and I learned a lot from him, and now I'm doing like every single day. I think it's very important the role of physiotherapists in every single sport. Physiotherapist is very important in terms of the recovery after the game. When you have some injury, you can reduce your injury. This in a football club is very important because I remember when I was in Chelsea, we more or less calculate the day that the player is off without training. It costs for the club like £20,000. If you can reduce from 30-40 days to 25, this is very important for the club in economic terms, but also it's very important for the player in terms of performance, publicity, of course, psychological. He wants to be into the pitch as soon as possible. It's not because we are here, but we can help in this, in our small part into the team. The most important thing for me is to understand the most important is the player. It's not you, it's not your ego, and the most important thing is that the player can train or can play. After, you have to do is in your hand to create the best performance possible. I understood in Chelsea that the ego is something that you have to put away. You need to put the focus on the player. You need to put the focus on the person, create the best model or create the best protocols or create the best whatever you want for them. Yeah, about prevention, it's always not easy because injuries can happen, everything can happen. There is a small difference between Chelsea and Como, for example, in this term, because in Chelsea you play twice per week, and here you have more time to recover the player. So there you need to focus on the recovery, and of course you need to have a very good relation, communication with the physical coaches, with the manager. I think the communication between different departments is the most important thing to understand and to how the team is. Of course, you need to have a very organized, very well organized medical staff. Each one has to know what they need to do, when he has to do, or when the things has to be done. This is because you have a very good manager or very good head of department. And after, pray. Maybe one player with some muscle injury or whatever, you need to put the focus and everything that you have around on the player, because as I said before, the important thing is the player. Okay, of course, one of my biggest strengths, I think, is my manual therapy. It's this kind of technique that we can prevent and we can recover faster, or as faster as we can, you never know. But yeah, I think this is my strength in the football, and I have a lot of experience in the first level. I can be involved in some decisions with my medical staff. All together, we can always, through the communication, I think we can improve small things that at the end are very important for the development of the medical service. For me, the most important tip always is you need to love this. What are you doing? You need to love, because after you think everything goes in that direction. Oh, what can I do to be a bit better? What can I do to improve? Or you have in your player, what can I do for help him? What can I do to do the things better? This all only happens if you love what you are doing. If not, it's so difficult. At the end is to study a lot, listen a lot, because it's very important to listen what the player is talking about, and to enjoy doing this. For me, is the most important thing.